They always say, "She doesn't care, just move on." But what if I told you she does care? What if I told you her silence isn't power? It's fear. She isn't ignoring you because she's moved on. She's quiet because she's waiting. Waiting to see if you'll slip, if you'll beg, if you'll prove she still controls you. And the second you make the wrong move, you hand her all the power. But today, that ends. If you're here, it's because you're tired of being played. You're tired of wasting energy on someone who thrives on your reaction. And you're about to learn the one move that flips everything. Stoic silence. Pure, calculated, controlled silence. This is the ultimate power move. This is how you flip the script. This is how you make her question everything. And this is how you reclaim your self-respect, your confidence, your dignity. This isn't just about relationships. This is about life, control, power, respect. It all comes down to one thing: how you react when someone tests you. So lock in, because by the end of this video, you'll never chase anyone again. Before we dive in, type it in the comments right now. I will never chase again. Let the world see it. Let yourself believe it. Every single day, millions of men get trapped in the same cycle. Someone they care about grows distant, pulls away, and suddenly everything changes. They check their phone non-stop, overanalyze every word, question every pause, stress over every silence. And every time, they make the same mistake. They react. This is the trap. Modern relationships are built on power dynamics. The moment you react, you give away control. The moment you chase, you lose value. The moment you show someone that their absence destroys you, you hand them all the leverage. That's why the most powerful men, in business, in love, in life, never react. They don't panic, they don't chase, they observe, they adapt. And when someone tries to play games with them, they do the one thing that changes everything. They go silent. And that's what we're breaking down today. Number 1, she expects you to react. She pulls back, delays replies, grows distant, suddenly too busy. The good morning texts stop, the plans disappear, but she still watches your stories, still makes sure you see she's out looking good, having fun. She's waiting for your slip, that desperate moment when you break self-control and ask her, "What's wrong?" The second you do, she wins. Because when you react, she knows she still has you. She knows she hasn't lost control. And that means she can keep testing to see how much you'll tolerate, how much of her absence you'll accept, how quickly you'll crumble, and most men do. They check their phones every few minutes, panic when there's no reply, overthink. Every conversation, double text, apologize for things they never even did. But here's the truth. She doesn't respect this. She expects it. And when she sees it, she loses interest. A woman only plays these games with a man she doesn't fully respect. A man she's still testing. A man who needs her validation to feel whole. And the moment you prove that's true, it's over. Because women don't chase men who fall apart. They chase men who don't care whether they stay or go. When you don't react, when you stay silent, when her absence doesn't affect you, that's when she feels it. And what she feels is doubt. Doubt is what cracks her confidence. Doubt is what makes her question if she misjudged you. Doubt is what makes her wonder, is he moving on? Did I just lose a man worth keeping? And doubt is what brings her back. But here's what most men never realize. By the time she feels that doubt, it's already too late. Because the man she was testing no longer exists. That version of you, the one who would have chased, is gone. You've become the one thing she fears most. A man she cannot control. Number 2, your silence breaks her control. Silence terrifies people. It's why they drown themselves in distractions. It's why social media never stops. Because silence forces them to face themselves. When you go silent, you flip the power dynamic. She expected you to chase, to validate her, to keep proving your worth. But instead, she's the one checking her phone. She's the one replaying conversations. She's the one wondering when she lost her grip. She might post with other guys, go out with her friends, pretend she's living her best life. But all of that is for one reason. She's waiting to see if you'll react. And when no notification comes, when you don't reach out, that's when panic hits. Now she feels the same tension you once felt. Now she's questioning if you're already gone. And that fear is what pulls her back. But here's where most men ruin it. She sends a text, something casual, vague, safe. Hey, hope you're doing good, or how have you been? And men light up. They reply instantly, thinking, she finally realized what she lost. But she didn't come back for you. She came back for her ego. She just wanted to know she still had you. And the second you reply too quickly, she disappears again, because she wasn't coming back to stay. She was coming back to test. That's why the strongest response is no response at all. If she truly regrets losing you, she'll prove it. She'll put in the effort. She'll make it clear. But until then, silence. Because silence is what creates doubt, and doubt is what makes her chase. But here's the twist. By the time she's ready to chase, you don't need her anymore. You've leveled up. You've built your confidence, your mindset, your self-respect. You no longer depend on her validation, and by the time she realizes what she lost, it's already too late, because now she's the one chasing a ghost. Number 3. She will start to doubt herself. She thought she had endless time. She thought you'd always be there, waiting, hoping, lingering. She convinced herself that no matter what she did, you'd still be available. But now, silence. And silence changes everything. First, it's just a thought. Why hasn't he reached out? Then it grows. Did he move on? Then it twists into fear. Was I wrong about him? Did I lose him for good? And nothing shakes a woman more than realizing she may have let something valuable slip away. Because in her world, men are supposed to be predictable. She assumes that if she pulls back, your natural response will be to chase harder. She expects you to fight for her. She expects you to plead, to prove yourself, to beg for another chance. But you didn't. You stayed silent. You removed your presence completely, and you gave her something she never expected, the unknown. And the unknown is the most powerful force in the world. Because uncertainty consumes the mind. It's why people obsessively check their phones waiting for a reply. It's why cliffhangers keep audiences hooked. It's why humans get addicted to the chase. The mind cannot stand unanswered questions. And now, she's the one searching for answers. She starts checking your social media, not once, but obsessively. She's scanning to see if you're online, if anything's changed. New photos, new energy, new connections. She might not hit like, but she's watching. She might not text, but she's thinking. And the longer your silence continues, the sharper. The doubt cuts into her confidence. She goes to her friends. The same ones who told her, "Don't worry, he'll be back. He always will." The same ones who laughed, calling you just another guy who couldn't resist her pull. But now, even, they are starting to wonder. Because the longer you don't react, the more undeniable it becomes. You don't need her anymore. And that terrifies her. Because now the power has shifted. Now she's questioning herself. And nothing makes a woman spiral faster than self-doubt. She starts replaying everything in her mind. Your last conversation, your last message, the last time she saw you. Suddenly, it all feels different. And the more she thinks about it, the more she starts realizing something she never wanted to admit. She took you for granted. She assumed she had you locked in. She assumed she could always come back when she wanted. She assumed you were just like every other man before you, desperate for her validation. But now, She isn't so sure anymore, and that doubt doesn't stay hidden. It leaks into her actions. Suddenly, she's testing the waters. Her pride won't let her say, "I miss you," but she'll send out subtle signals, liking an old picture, sending a casual text, commenting on something random, maybe even accidentally sending a message meant for someone else, just to see if you'll respond. And the weak man takes the bait. He sees the breadcrumb and pounces. He thinks, "This is it. This is the moment she wants me back." But the second he reaches out, the second he shows he's still waiting, she pulls back again. Because it was never about coming back. It was about control. She just needed to know she still had access, that you were still an option. And once she confirms that, you disappear from her priorities again. This is where most men lose. They let her curiosity trick them into thinking it's genuine interest. But here's the truth. Watching isn't chasing. Liking isn't regretting. Texting isn't valuing. A woman who truly regrets losing you doesn't drop breadcrumbs. She makes it obvious. She doesn't send a vague, "Hey," she says, "I made a mistake." She doesn't just like your photo, she tells you she misses you. She doesn't just leave the door cracked, she walks through it and fights for your attention. Until that happens, silence. Because silence is what keeps her questioning. And questioning is what makes her chase. But here's the real victory. Questioning is also what sets you free. Because while she's been stuck in doubt, replaying the past, wondering if she lost something valuable, you weren't waiting. You were building. You were hitting the gym, working on your goals, stacking wins, leveling up in every way. You weren't sitting around hoping she decides you're worthy of her time. You became untouchable. And that will be her deepest regret. Not just losing you, but losing the version of you she never even got to meet. Number 4, when she tries to pull you back, she doesn't like this feeling. She doesn't like the thought that she lost. She doesn't like doubting herself. She doesn't like thinking she miscalculated, that she let something valuable walk away. Because in her mind, she was always in control. She believed she could pull back, create distance, and you would be the one chasing. You would be the one proving your worth, fighting to win her back. That was her plan. But something happened she never saw coming. You disappeared. And that shakes her. It gets inside her mind in a way nothing else can. Because now she's facing the one thing she cannot stand: uncertainty. And uncertainty means she no longer knows where she stands with you. It means her grip on your emotions is gone. It means she might have actually lost you. And that was never part of her plan. She assumed she had time. She assumed she could test the waters, pull back, disappear, and you would still be there, waiting, chasing, desperate for her attention. But the longer your silence stretches, the heavier the weight of her own choices becomes. She starts to feel the absence of your presence, and when people lose something they thought would always be there, they panic, but don't expect her to admit it. She's not going to call and confess regret. She's not going to send you a long apology. She's not going to openly admit she lost. Instead, she'll test you. Because in her mind, she needs to know one thing. Do you still care? That's where the first test comes in. Subtle. A like on an old picture. A vague text. "Hey, hope you're doing well." Or, "Just saw something that reminded me of you." Nothing direct. Nothing obvious. But it's bait. She wants to see if you'll jump. If you're still emotionally available. If she still has control over your mind. And the weak man, he takes the bait. His heart races, his fingers type fast, and he replies instantly. He thinks, "This is it, she wants me back." But the second she sees how quickly he responds, she knows she never lost him. She knows she can have him anytime she wants. And just like that, she vanishes again. Because it was never about missing him. It was about confirming her power. But when you don't react, when you leave her on red, when you don't play into the game. That's when the real panic begins. Because now she has no answer. Now she doesn't know where your head is. Now she feels the weight of true loss. So she escalates. She tries again. Another message, longer this time. A memory she knows will hit your emotions. An indirect post designed to trigger you. Maybe even another guy in the picture just to see if jealousy makes you crack. She throws everything at you because a reaction means she still has influence. A reaction means she can still pull you back whenever she chooses. But here's when you don't react. You don't chase. You don't give her ego the validation it's starving for. Because you know what this really is. This isn't about love. This isn't about her valuing you. This is about pride, about ego, about control. And that's something you'll never give her again. The moment you stop being her emotional safety net, the moment she truly feels like she lost you, is the moment she has to face a decision. Does she fight for you? Or does she accept you're gone? And here's the harsh truth. If she was never truly invested, she'll walk away and never return. Because she was never yours. She just liked knowing she could have you. But if she regrets it, if she realizes, she let a valuable man slip away and she won't send breadcrumbs anymore. She won't play games. She won't post indirect hints. She will show up. She will admit it outright. She will tell you she made a mistake. She will fight for your attention the way you once fought for hers. And when that moment comes, the power is yours. You decide if she's earned her way back. You decide if she deserves another chance. You decide whether she belongs in your life at all. Because by the time she reaches that point, by the time she's desperate enough to prove herself, you've already moved on. And that's the ultimate lesson. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you pull back your attention, the moment you stop playing by her rules, you become the man she was searching for all along. But by the time she realizes it, you're already gone. That's what true power looks like. That's what real stoicism is. That's what unshakable self-respect feels like. And that's why she will never, ever forget you. Number 5, mastering emotional detachment. Everything changes the moment you detach. Everything shifts the moment you stop chasing, the moment you stop seeking her approval, the moment you stop trying to prove your worth. Because that's when you become something rare, truly free. Detachment is the highest form of power. It's what separates men who live on their own terms from men who spend their lives reacting to the emotions of others. It's the skill that divides those who create the life they want from those who wonder why nothing ever works out. It's the mindset that transforms a man from being controlled into the one who controls, and if you don't master it, you'll always be a prisoner. A prisoner to her texts, a prisoner to her silence, a prisoner to her approval. You'll always be the guy waiting by the phone, nervous when she pulls back, obsessing over what you did wrong while she's out living her life without a thought about you. She's not overthinking. You are. She's not suffering. You are. She's not chasing. You are. And why? Because you've been conditioned to believe your worth is proven by getting her back. But here's the truth. You don't need her back. You don't need to win her over. You don't need to prove anything. What you need is to let her go. Because the moment you let go, you take back every ounce of power you lost. Women don't chase weak men. They don't chase desperate men. They don't chase men who need validation. They chase strength. They chase certainty. They chase the man who doesn't need them, because when you don't need her, you become a challenge. You become rare. You become the man she regrets losing. Not the man who begged for another chance, not the man who sent endless texts hoping for a reply, but the man who walked away and never looked back. That's the man she will think about at night. That's the man she will compare every other guy to. That's the man she will wonder what if about forever. But by the time she realizes it, you're already gone. And that's the entire point of emotional detachment. Not to play games, not to manipulate, but to show yourself that you never needed her validation to feel whole. Most men live their entire lives begging for approval. They want someone to tell them they are enough. They want someone to validate their worth. But what happens when you stop needing it? What happens when you look in the mirror and realize you already have everything you need? That's when the world shifts. That's when people respect you differently. That's when you stop being an option and start being the choice. Because the man who doesn't need validation is the one who gets it the most. The man who isn't seeking attention is the one who receives it effortlessly. The man who controls his emotions is the one who controls every room he enters. And here's the best part. Once you master emotional detachment, it's not just about her anymore. It's about everything. Every friendship, every business deal, every interaction. Because when people realize they can't shake you, when they see they can't control you, when they know they can't drag you into their emotional games, they start treating you differently, with respect, with value, with admiration. Because in today's world, most people are weak. Most people are desperate for attention. Most people are chasing validation. But not you. Because you've mastered detachment, and that makes you untouchable. This isn't just about relationships. This is about power. The power to walk away. The power to control yourself. The power to live without needing anyone's approval. Most men will never know that freedom. They'll always be stuck chasing, always reacting, always begging. But the moment you detach, the moment you stop playing her game, the moment you decide you don't need her or anyone else to feel worthy, that's the moment you become the man you were meant to be. And here's the twist. By the time she realizes she lost you, by the time she regrets walking away, by the time she's finally ready to chase, you won't even care. That's the real victory, because the true prize was never her attention. The true prize was always the man you became when you stopped seeking it. So if you're ready to be untouchable, if you're ready to take control of your life, if you're ready to step into true power, subscribe right now. Support this channel, because by doing so, you're helping millions of men break free from the weak mindset that keeps them trapped. And before you go, I want you to type it in the comments, I am unshaken, write it, own it, because from this moment forward, that's exactly who you are.